Hola a todos, bienvenidos a Genshin en vivo. Todavía más y hoy tenemos un montón de códigos de canje. Miren, hay un montón de códigos de canje. Recogimos como 300 y un montón de cosas. Y tenemos que Tilo, que está cumpliendo noche antes de irme. Últimamente he notado un aumento en los ventas de bebidas alcohólicas de sabores florales. Además, la variedad de flores utilizadas no solo proceden de Mozart. Aunque importar las flores y criarlas en el viñedo es una opción, me gustaría aprovechar esta oportunidad para viajar a otras naciones y estudiar las flores por mí mismo y tomar la decisión que me parezca más adecuada. He dejado a él ser a cargo del viñedo y Montón cuenta con plantación de los caballeros de Famonis, así que no creo que mi presencia allí sea necesaria. De todas formas, este viaje tampoco me llevará mucho tiempo. Te envío esta carta por si tienes pensado ir al viñedo y verme, así te ahorraré el viaje. Y por acá tenemos tercera PCO, Ryan's Flame, música. Y tenemos que el tercero. Bueno, y acá tenemos 187, es decir 180. Entonces empecemos por sacar dinero, que todavía seguimos pobres. No necesito, si saco un nuevo personaje, necesito necesitar dinero y experiencia.
Here comes the night. Hear the echoes of the valley. What? Why me? It's justice o'clock. Take a deep breath and touch all eyes on you. Take a look behind the veil. My wait was not in vain.
Siguiente.
Let's hope for the big fight. Take a deep breath and grit your teeth. Here comes another. Here are we coming. Light at the blazing sun. Take a look behind the veil. Was not in vain. Try and stop me. Let's fly.
Dos, faltan dos más. Y
Let the mountain flames boil. It's justice o'clock. Light it up.
una más. Sí, nos paga. ¿Cuántos me faltan? Faltan 8. Y luego como 40, bueno, y me faltan 48.
Bring it. Don't be a move. Try and stop me. Headbutt. Show me your move.
Listo, y ahora uno normal. Generalmente 4 y cambian de mapa y toca allá volar.
Burn it down! Light of the blazing sun! Letting great names echo!
Ups. Estoy en la normal. Ya terminamos. Vamos a reclamar. Y con esto ya vamos a estas.
Ad Astra. Thank you for Ad Astra.
Ups.
Ad Astra.
Vamos a repetir todo, listo. Y ya con esto terminamos las diarias. Ahora vamos por. Vamos por acá. Entonces, sí, sigamos con. Leímos ayer, entonces. Primero hagamos el evento. Un tercero. Entonces hagamos el tercero. Listo, vamos así. Cuando ocurre una reacción congelado, un bloque en una esfera desencadena el efecto de congelación, el cual congela todos los bloques conectados en el bloque. O sea, es del mismo tipo que él. Y cuando uno pone una esfera golpea los bloques congelados, todos los demás bloques congelados están congelados mágicos. Cuando ocurre una reacción congelada ante la barra rotora y el boing esfera se detendrá un momento sobre la barra. Él podrá seguir moviéndose la boing esfera hasta la despedida por sí sola cuando termine el efecto, aunque también podrá elegir el momento oportuno para soltarla. Me ocurre una reacción de superconductor entre bloques boing esfera se desencadenará el aguzamiento, en el cual el boing esfera no rotará contra los bloques golpeados, sino que los aráñicos mientras sigue su trayectoria original. Este efecto desaparecerá cuando la boing esfera impacte contra el borde del tablero.
nicely done. Bravo! 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 Bravo!
Bueno, 4000. Sí, ya que menos con 3000 se pasa. Listo, volcamos el evento. Y ahora sí, nos podemos ir. Las misiones legendarias y seguir sacando finales. Vamos por acá. No, hay uno. Por acá hay. Ah, por acá hay una ramificación. Entonces, retomar encuentro. Hasta las 20. Hasta el siguiente día. Listo.
It's almost time. Everyone ready? Alright, then let's get this.
Listo. Saltemos. Ito, señora sucedió. Ito, quiero que la señora sucedió igual.
Aha! Etsu and Iba! So that's what's going on here! You two are the scam artists. You put on this damsel in distress and elderly grandpa act to win my sympathy, then used a few cheap tricks to get my attention. Then you dangled the bait in front of me, waiting for me to bite. Darn it! I knew it! Who in their right mind would give away Oni Kabuto for free, let alone 10,000 of them? It's too good to be true, and that's how I know you're the scam artists. You got a lot of nerve trying to scam a Doshin. You're coming with me, and you'll give a full confession if you know what's good for you.
Finally, with the help of his intuition and a little guidance from beyond the void, Doshin Arataki successfully avoided being defrauded. Not only that, but he asked a critical question. Who in their right mind would give away Oni Kabuto for free? I ask you all, is there such a thing as free Oni Kabuto? Free Mora? Or does nothing in life come for free? Alright, remember, it takes years to make a fortune, but only a moment to lose it all to a scam artist. Thank you once again for watching. Hazo Talks Fraud. Stay alert, everybody, and see you again next time.
So, how's my acting? I think I did just fine without a script. Those two would-be scam artists need to up their game if they want to have a chance of taking me down.
Hello? Without that hint from the Traveler, you would have handed that cash away without a second thought.
Right, yeah. I should thank her for the timely hint. But I pretty much knew off the bat that something fishy was about to go down, so, it was just a matter of time before I saw right through their scam. Seriously, oldest trick in the book. Who's gonna fall for that?
Old tricks they may well be, but the reason they've stood the test of time is that the ideal victim is always out there somewhere. People who are behind on the times, naive, socially isolated, or have cognitive deficiencies. Just because they don't always get noticed doesn't mean they're not there. Scammers cast a wide net. Sure, maybe 10,000 fish will escape, but they only need one catch for them to win and for us to lose.
Well, no more losing from now on. Not with me here to protect everyone. I think we can all agree that my performance today shows I'm savvy enough to keep the scammers at bay.
Don't be too confident. Anyway, Ito, my old... What was it again? Ah, yes, bro. Here's the reward you were promised.
Ah, music to my ears. Emperor Oni Kabuto, come to Papa. Oh, look at those sharp horns and those beautiful stripes. Well, hold on. Heizo, my hombre, why won't it move? Hey, bud, move! Oh no, I think this one might have, joined the big beetle battle in the sky.
It's a figurine, so not the moving kind.
What? A figure? So, it's a fake?
Man alive, you seem a little surprised. Wait, you didn't actually think this was a real Onikamoto, did you? No, surely not. Ito, old chap, you must have seen from the photograph that it was a figurine. Don't tell me you didn't notice. Really?
You little punk! Give me my Emperor Oni Kabuto now!
Así está favorito. Listo, por acá. No hay más ahora, entonces debe ser por acá.
Strength is one of those things where you gotta use it or lose it. So, wanna train with me sometime? Running late again.
So, have you gone through the case files? Is there anything that caught your eye? I'm afraid this won't be an easy task. I was hoping I wouldn't have to drag you into this, but it's just occurred to me that with your help, I might be able to wrap up this problem.
Alright then, tell us about the complaint letter.
It's from Sango, the president of Bonton Sango Detective Agency. I assume you've met her before? You can say that. Sango's complaint letter accuses me of abusing my power for personal gain and blatantly concealing the truth behind the Ryuuji case from years ago. Seriously, do I really seem like the type of person who'd do that?
Concealing the truth? That definitely sounds like something you would do.
Hey, don't judge a book by its cover, alright? Let's just go to the detective agency and talk to Sango. We'll need to speak with her to get to the bottom of this.
Hurry up, Grassa!
Welcome back, Mr. Heizo. I'm glad you're all right. How about some tonkatsu? You must have missed the taste of home after so long.
Maybe next time, Ryuuji. Seems like somebody's been expecting me. And I'm afraid they're only going to be disappointed once again.
Well, look who it is. The great Detective Heizo. What nonsense were you talking about just now? I've been worried about you, you know. So much so that I took the trouble to write that heartfelt letter to the Tenryo Commission. Well, was it sufficiently flattering for you?
Uh-oh, they're at it again.
Let's not waste the traveler's time, Sango. Just tell me, what do you want?
Fine by me. My request is simple. Disclose all the details of the Ryuuji case. It's time you stop hiding the truth and let me investigate it thoroughly.
First of all, that case has already been solved. Second, I've disclosed everything the police station has on the case. And third...
Enough! You can only fool Ryuuji with that. If you don't want to cooperate, I can assure you that I will write more letters to the headquarters of the Tenryou Commission. I will not give up on this case.
Oh, wait! Hold on! Can someone please explain what's going on here? Pilot doesn't have a clue what you two are talking about!
All right, let me explain. Several years ago, a terrible murder took place in the police station. I was still working at the Tenryou Commission then, and the victim was actually my dear boss. Due to various factors, I was deemed to be the top suspect, which is why it's called the Ryuuji case. Also, Hazel wasn't a part of the police station back then. He was a detective at the agency. Which at the time was called the Montón Sango and Hazel Detective Agency.
Huh? That's crazy! But, wait. Then why did Hazel leave?
After the incident, I was quickly convicted and sent to prison. Fortunately, Sango then promptly proved my innocence and caught the real murderer.
But that murderer was actually just a dummy to throw us off. Am I right, Detective Shikinomi?
Sango thought that everything went smoothly, so much so that she suspected the real murderer was someone else. Of course, Detective Hazel was also helping with the investigation, but after a long time, he still came up empty-handed. Later on, he decided to join the police station to continue his investigation on the inside, which is why he left the detective agency.
Ha! That's what I thought too. I was foolish enough to believe that Detective Shikinomi and I shared a common goal. But I was wrong about him. He has no sense of loyalty at all. He just wanted to become an official as a means of gaining fame and fortune.
Come on, stop exaggerating. Let me set the record straight here. First, I joined the police station long after that murder case happened, and it had nothing to do with any inside investigation. That's just somebody's wishful thinking. Second, purely out of curiosity, I did investigate the case later from within the police station. My conclusion was that the suspect Sango had caught was in fact the real murderer. And lastly, when Sango didn't buy my conclusion and asked me to disclose all related case files from the police station, I did exactly as she asked. I didn't hide anything.
He's lying right through his teeth.
That's it. I want this to end once and for all. Since the Traveler's my supervisor today, they have complete access to all the police station's files. If she's willing to help re-examine the case and arrives at the same conclusion that I did, then you won't have to doubt me anymore.
Whoa. Huh?
Unless you don't trust the Traveler. Come on, say it.
It's not about whether the Traveler's trustworthy. I'm just wondering if you will interfere somehow.
The thought never even crossed my mind.
You have to swear that you will not mislead the Traveler by any means, and let her investigate the truth on her own.
No problem. Cross my heart, hope to die.
Well, Traveler, are you willing to help me with this? Will you agree to re-examine the Ryuuji case and find the truth? You can bill me later for however much you'd like as compensation.
Sango, really? However much they want?
Money is valuable, no doubt. But pursuing the truth is the reason I started this agency. The Ryuuji case is the only case I failed to solve. I am willing to give you anything.
¿Tienes más presente?
All right. I'm counting on you, Traveler. You hear that, Detective Shikinomi? Ha! Now we just need to wait and see.
All right, I got it. No need to keep yammering like that. You'll scare the kids next door. Come on, let's go back to the police station.
pues digamos, es tu capacidad del mundo.
Hang out here for a sec. I need to go to the archives to get the case files. For now, why don't you go and chat with Yoriki Owada over there? He worked on this case too back in the day.
Pues la verdad es que es
No, you misunderstand. It's not that I want you to look into this. It's just that you're the only one who can. You're the only one I can think of who Sango would ever believe. She trusts in both your qualities and abilities, so I hope your findings can finally convince her and put an end to this whole thing. Sure, she's just writing complaint letters for now, but who knows what she'll do in the future. Alright, I'll go get those case files. You go ahead and talk to Yoriki Owada for a while.
Me acuerdo de eso. Amor de festín, yo lo compré. Oh, ya compré todos estos. Ya los había comprado. Bien. Ahora.
Oh, hello there.
Por todos el caso Ryuuji.
The Ryuuji case. So you want to reinvestigate that one? That was several years ago now, but I still remember it clearly. It's pretty hard to forget something like that. Especially when the victim was the head of this police station. His name was Takatsukasa Isamu, the younger brother of Takatsukasa Susumu, head of the Takatsukasa clan. He was really one of a kind. Decisive, brave, and smart. He was much younger than me, and already had quite a reputation. I'm sure he would have gone far in the Tenryou Commission, if only he was still alive. What a shame. Who would have guessed someone was plotting against him? People will believe anything they hear. Everyone in the police station knew that Ryuuji saw Takatsukasa Isamu like a father. Ryuuji was an orphan, you know. Before he joined the station, he had been taking odd jobs here and there. It was Isamu who really took him under his wing. Ryuuji was simple and not particularly bright, but he was very loyal to those who treated him well. He's also hard-working. Isamu must have seen these qualities in him and decided to keep Ryuuji by his side. Ryuuji worked with him for years after that, and was even promoted to be his personal assistant. Do you really think Ryuuji would do anything to harm him?
So, then why was Ryuuji convicted? Even Paimon can tell that's a mistake.
Well, here comes the interesting part of the case. Within a week, and before all the loose ends had even been tied up, Ryuuji received his conviction. Moreover, it was signed by Madame Kujo Sara.
What? Why would Sara do something like that?
I'm getting older now, and my eyesight is poor. I can't see too clearly anymore.
Hey, come on, Yoriki Owada, there's nothing to see. It's obvious that the Kujo clan did it.
You can't just go around saying things like that, Wisugi. Those were just hearsay. There was no evidence.
That's not true. Traveler, you may be unaware that the Takatsukasa clan has always been assisting the Kujo clan in the Tenryou Commission. But who doesn't want to be the boss, right? And Takatsukasa Isamu was the key figure for the Takatsukasa clan to bring down the Kujo clan. At that time, no one was held in higher regard than Isamu. So, naturally, the Kujo clan saw him as a potential threat. Kujo Takayuki must have been planning it all along, that rascal. Takayuki is able to control the Takatsukasa clan as long as he's in power. But by the time he retires, Isamu would have been at the apex of his political power, while Masahito and Kamaji of the Kujo clan would still have been too young. The two of them wouldn't stand a chance against Isamu. You think Kujo Takayuki would simply sit back while Isamu gained traction? So he decided to strike first.
You youngsters and your conspiracy theories.
No, it's true. It's the only way to explain it. Otherwise, why would an impartial person like Madame Kujo Sara sign Ryuji's conviction so quickly? They had to find a scapegoat to pacify the Takatsukasa clan,
So Kujo Takayuki must have told her to sign it immediately. I'm not accusing Madame Kujo Sara of anything, mind you. I respect her very much. But maybe she had no other choice.
What do you know? I'm sure Madame Kujo Sara must have had her own reasons.
¿Qué pasó con el supuesto verdadero asesino que
The guy was a forensic expert who worked in the station named Shiroyama. I have to admit, he wasn't easy to track down. That Sango really is something, though. She caught him without even breaking a sweat. It turned out that after poisoning Isamu, Shiroyama secretly took the poison to Ryuuji's place in order to frame him. Later on, the poison was also found in the forensic office, but that was already after Shiroyama's death. He confessed everything in a testament.
That's right. He hung himself in the forensic office not long after Sango was on his trail. Probably because he knew it was only a matter of time before he would be caught. Of course, he didn't admit whether he had been prompted by Kujo Takayuki. He took the responsibility alone. I bet Kujo Takayuki promised him a sizable compensation. After all, Shiroyama had a family to feed.
There you go again, pulling conclusions out of thin air. There wasn't any evidence of that at all.
Listen, I can almost guarantee that it was the Takatsukasa clan who invited Sango to investigate. We all knew that Ryuuji was just a scapegoat. You'd think the Takatsukasa clan wouldn't figure that out? They're not stupid. So, they were suspicious of the Kujo clan and invited Sango to take the case. However, the Kujo clan were still a step ahead and were able to remove themselves from the situation before the whole thing blew up. They drove Shiroyama to take all the blame as well as his own life. A perfectly clean cut for the Kujo clan. With Shiroyama dead, there was no one left to testify. Even the Electro Archon herself wouldn't be able to do anything.
You make up stuff faster than a politician. It's a wonder nobody's asked you to be an advisor yet.
Hey, that's their loss.
The whole thing is starting to sound complicated.
Hey, I brought the files. I bet you got quite an earful just now, huh? But don't believe everything they say. After all, people can tell you anything, and it's hard to separate truth from rumors without facts. So what really matters is the case files. Everything laid out here is all that the police station has about the case. Please, take a look. Remember, you may find many clues during an investigation, but not all of them are useful. And in some cases, the clues you will find will not only be useless, but downright misleading. Also, if a clue cannot corroborate anything on its own, you can always compare it with other clues, and maybe then you'll find what you're looking for. Okay, that should just about do it. I'm looking forward to your results.
Hold on. What actually counts as a result?
Usually, you need to find two things from these clues. A proven motive and proven means. Once you can confirm these two things, the criminal can be proven guilty. Alright, you can go ahead and get started now. I look forward to hearing your verdict.
Hey, traveler. Investigating a case isn't so easy, is it? Don't worry. I'll tell you all you need to know. Huh. Sango? The Takatsukasa clan really hired an amazing detective, didn't they? She comes to the station to submit applications every now and then, and has been constantly requesting to reinvestigate the Ryuuji case. But Heizo has always prevented her from doing so. I really didn't expect that she'd go as far as writing a complaint letter, though. Phew, she's relentless. As for why Heizo Senpai has been keeping her away from the case, I think he's afraid that Sango would be putting herself in danger. After all, we're talking about the murder of an important man. That can be deep water if you're not careful. Sango may run a detective agency, but in the end, she's just an ordinary person. Well, not exactly. I've pretty much seen them argue every time they meet. But Heizo might still consider her as an old friend. I heard that he used to work with Sango. Sometimes he'd ask me to hand over less pressing cases to the detective agency. I guess he just wants to support Sango's business. Heizo-senpai is a good person, there's no doubt about that.
Don't take anything Uesugi says too seriously. Just nod along. Oh, that. Well, let me see. Ryuuji saw Takatsu Isamu as his foster father, that's for sure. But I can't say whether Isamu helped Ryuuji without expecting anything in return. After all, Isamu was a resourceful person. A simple and naive person like Ryuuji wouldn't ever be suitable as an advisor, but he could certainly be a loyal and trustworthy aide. Isamu was expecting a child of his own later, but unfortunately, he was killed before the child was ever born. Anyway, enough about all that. Aren't you here to investigate the case? You better get a move on.
So, what did you find? Have you come to a conclusion? Sure. Let me know once you've made some progress.
Exacto, excelente. Una vez que junto a la nota suicida de Chiroma después de comprar la letra se confirmó que fue escrita por el osiso, Tatsuka Eso. Shirama, ¿cuánto tiempo se invertí? ¿Cómo va la proporción de eso que te pedí? Fui a tu casa hoy pero no estás, afortunadamente tu esposa me recibió, es una buena mujer, hace buena pareja contigo. ¿Cuántos meses de embarazo tienes? 5. Mi esposa también. Tomé la libertad de volver a dejarte algunos suplementos, incluso la ayudé a tomárselos, estaba muy agradecida. Imagino que tú también estarás agradecido, ¿cierto? Así que no me dejes esperando.
Takatsu Isamu seems like a thoughtful person, but something about the tone sounds weird.
Testimonio de Ryuuji. Una semana antes de incidente, el señor Takatsu Isamu pescó un resfriado y perdió el apetito. Solo podía comer arroz acompañado de un remedio especial para el resfriado. La noche anterior al incidente, el jefe todavía no se había recuperado del resfriado. A pesar de eso, siguió tratando, así que me ha tocado su salud. Cuando vino el doctor vino a traerle el remedio, le pedí suplementos alimenticios. Shirama le sugirió una crema de hígado de pescado y iba a quemar el sistema inmune, así que fue al laboratorio francés a buscar algo para el jefe. Le dije antes en clase, siempre fue muy amable conmigo, juró que nunca le haría algo así.
Come to think of it, Shiroyama was a forensic doctor. He could easily pull off something like this.
Yo maté a esta acción, envenené su remedio para el resfriado. Ahora antes de hacer un tipo enredado en el pulgo, pero en secreto me ordené que encontrara un nuevo veneno para deshacer de aquellos que se opusieron a él. También me amenazó con enviarme a la cárcel si no hacía lo que me pedía, incluso usó mi familia para chantajearme. Tenía otra opción, lo maté con un nuevo tipo de veneno que logré comprar en la Cámara de Comercio Internacional y para protegerme inculpé a Ryuuji y mi compañera. Ahora solo es cuestión de tiempo antes de que el detective lo averigüe. Se como cometí un grave error, no puedo escapar, solo me espera la muerte. Lo único que pido es perdón por el error.
Hey, this is the key to proving that Shiroyama was the murderer, right? That is, if he was telling the truth, of course.
Fueron Fernando, comienza. El hombre los hizo, tenemos 41 años, jefe de la comisaría de policía. En el momento de la muerte la ropa está intacta, el cuerpo no presentaba señales de trauma ni signos de lucha, presenta congestión e inflamación en la garganta, asados por un resfriado que padecía antes de fallecer. Tal úlceras en el estómago e intestinos, provocado por un nuevo tipo de neurotransmitter interior, contiene encontrar en el estómago residuos de arroz blando sin digerir. Una pequeña cantidad de crema de hígado de pescado, cuyo componente principal es extracto de hígado de pescado altamente concentrado, un valioso suplemento dietético. Un pequeño remedio para el resfriado que contiene una gran cantidad de extractos ácidos frutas vegetales para que se trata de medicamentos pesados por laboratorio forense y una pequeña cantidad de residuos del veneno. Después de esta acción de análisis se descubrió que el veneno es exactamente el mismo que se encontró en la casa de Ryuuji y Shiroyama. Causa la muerte, malestar en la membrana de la mucosa abdominal e insuficiencia respiratoria psicotóxica provocadas por el nuevo tipo de veneno.
Yikes! He ate all kinds of stuff.
Edad 20, profesión subordinado de los ISO. Debido al resentimiento con sus jefes, tuvo una alergia con la mitad del trabajo y preparó un secreto una botella de veneno para vengarse. Hasta reclutó veneno sin usar en la casa del sospechoso. Ryuuji. El sospechoso Ryuuji se encuentra detenido en prisión preventiva por el crimen de homicidio el juicio de los lugares de su convivencia. Bueno, que lo sabe.
Wow. Ryuji's conviction really was signed by Kujo-Sara. But now we know she had it wrong.
Sentencia sospechosa Shirayama. Llamada 22, profesión médico francesa de los Isatacanos. Debido al resentimiento con su media atacación saben el trabajo de Shirayama tuvo una alergia con la misma de trabajo y prepararse que no debe no por vengarse. Tarde 5 tabernas sin usar en la casa de Shirayama. Sufrió una compensación a todos ellos que me han encontrado la casa de Ryuuji y su embarque por Ryuuji. Una persona condenada a Shirayama a la pena de muerte es muy simple, pero sin embargo, sus proyectos suicidio antes de la condena, esta no se pudo que resolver
So Shirayama's conviction was also signed by Kujo-Sara, just like Ryuji's.
Bueno, es como una copy-paste, las dos sentencias son casi iguales. Sí. Entonces las llaves de las haces venida que provocó la muerte de Takeru Sucedió. Sustancia inerte, inodora, insípida, soluble en agua, insoluble en otras sustancias. Tiene propiedades de un veneno sintético. Su aspecto en el polvo blanco que está normal, no una propiedad del polvo blanco. Investigar los libros cuentas de la Cámara de Comercio de la región y encuentra pruebas de circulación de alimentos.
A synthetic toxin? What's that?
Aquí estoy investigadamente. Un blanco, un gran desgarrado en el centro.
That's weird. There's nothing here. This must be some of the false information that Hazel told us to look out for.
So, what did you find? Have you come to a conclusion?
Sí, tengo una.
Really? You found the criminal's motive and means that quickly? Awesome. All right, let's talk about the motive first. What clue reveals the criminal's motive? Excellent work. According to the victim's message, the two had deep conflicts. Although we cannot confirm whether the poison had been requested by the victim or not, it is true that Isamu used Shiroyama's family to blackmail him. Such circumstances could be enough motive for Shiroyama to commit the crime.
But wasn't Takatsukasa Isamu good to Shiroyama? He even went to Shiroyama's house to bring health supplements. But maybe he didn't really bring health supplements. Maybe it was something bad.
Is that what you think, Paimon? Well, we later found out that what Takatsukasa Isamu sent to Shiroyama's house was indeed health supplements. But if you consider the circumstances, what he sent wasn't important. What was important is that sending the supplements was actually a dangerous signal. Isamu was essentially implying, I can put anything in your wife's supplements at any time. If you really care about her safety, then get me what I want.
So scary! Your assumption sounds like a real threat! You're not really that dark inside, are you?
You don't really catch criminals by standing in the light, do you? Basically, these two clues work to verify each other, and the murderer's motive is confirmed. Now, all that's left is the means of the crime. Next, which clue confirms the criminal's means? So, what did you find? Have you come to a conclusion?
Sí, tengo una. Pero pues el autopsia del problema.
Close. The autopsy report states that the cause of death is a special toxin. But how was this toxin administered to the deceased? Was it mixed with the cold medicine, as Shiroyama stated in his testament? If so, we need some evidence to prove that. Perhaps you should give it some more thought. Bingo! The autopsy report confirms that the cause of death was a special toxin. The testament indicates that Shiroyama used his position as a forensic expert to mix the toxin into the cold medicine taken by the deceased. But is that really the truth? Is it not possible that the toxin was mixed into the fish liver paste? Well, according to the toxicology report, this white powder only dissolves in water. Neither rice nor the fish liver paste could be used as a carrier of the toxin. The cold medicine was the only option. Putting the poison elsewhere would not only fail to guarantee a lethal dose, but would also increase the chance of it being noticed by the deceased. Therefore, the means is also confirmed.
Add that to the motive for the crime and... Whoa! So the murderer really was Shiroyama!
Yep, pretty clear cut, wouldn't you say? Look, I really don't know what Sango is so suspicious about.
Yeah, it's pretty clear cut. Huh. You could say it's almost too clear cut.
Tengo dudas.
Oh? Well, let's hear them. Maybe I have answers. What's bugging you? Very nice. Top marks for attention to detail. It doesn't have any real bearing on the case, but let me explain how that works for you. So, why would Madame Kujo-Sara sign one conviction sentencing Ryuuji to temporary incarceration awaiting trial, and another conviction sentencing Shiroyama to death? You may have heard some rumors back at the station that when this case first came up, the Kujo clan higher-ups were in dire need of a scapegoat to keep the Takatsukasa clan off their backs. And poor Ryuuji became the successful candidate. In less than a week, the conviction was drafted, sent to Madame Kujo-Sara, and signed. Allegedly, she knew what it was about as soon as she saw it, and signed it with no questions asked. But anyone who buys this story clearly doesn't know that much about Madame Kujo-Sara. She's the most principled person in the entire Tenryou Commission, for goodness sake. So, how would she respond to a case filled with unanswered questions and no confession from the suspect?
Oh, you mean...
Exactly. Before she signed it, she changed Ryuuji's conviction from the death sentence to temporary incarceration. Ryuuji escaped a disastrous fate without ever realizing it. Had Madame Kujo-Sara not changed his sentence, Sango would have been seeking justice for a dead man.
Why was Sara so lenient with Ryuuji?
That's the wrong question. This wasn't about Ryuuji, but Madame Kujo-Sara's principles. The conviction could have been for a Ryuuji, a Guji, heck, even a Tanuki, and she would have made the same decision. Given the enormous pressure she was under at the time, I'd say she did the most she could. Don't you think?
Pressure? Really? Was someone higher up putting pressure on Sara?
The pressure came from all sides. The deceased was the leader of the police station and the rising star of the Takatsukasa clan. All eyes were on this case. How this became reduced to the unimaginative rumor that Madame Kujo-Sara convicted Ryuuji under pressure from her superiors, I have no idea.
Ugh. Rumors here, conspiracy theories there. Lies at every turn.
Fortunately, Madame Kujo-Sara works in an open and transparent manner, and pays no heed to rumors like this. She just rolls her eyes and forgets all about them. Just because she has never publicly clarified the truth doesn't mean she was hiding anything. So when I asked her about it, saying it was relevant to a case I was working on, she just told me how it was. Believe me, in this case, more than any other, I have checked every last detail.
¿Por qué la verdad está en frases tan blanco? ¿Válganos las páginas?
This also puzzles me. Maybe someone doesn't want us being privy to the contents inside, or maybe Shirayama tore a bunch of pages out by accident. But regardless, this isn't essential to the case. Like I said before, a lot of what comes up in an investigation is irrelevant information. The crucial elements are Shirayama's motive and means, which we have established.
Pero se menciona que se venenó. No lo tiene suma. Pero la nota de sucedió decía que compró la Cámara de Comercio Internacional.
Maybe the report was wrong. The International Trade Association is a gathering place for merchants from all over. Countless merchants pass through the port of Rito every day. It's natural for there to be a couple of missing records here or there. Well, I've answered all your lingering questions, and you've checked all the material the police station has, so what do you think? Case closed?
Paimon still feels like something doesn't add up. But then again, Heizo did give us all the files the police station had. Ugh, this is annoying.
Hemos visto todo el material que tiene la comisaría policial. Ya sé dónde está el problema.
I don't follow. Enlighten me.
La agencia de detectives legistas ya facilité toda la información que tiene la comisaría policial. Cuando empezamos a revisar el expediente nos dijiste todo el material que acordado sobre el caso está aquí adentro. Justo ahora lo has dicho nuevamente, compraste toda la información que tiene la comisaría policial.
Right! Why do you keep emphasizing police station every single time?
You tell me. Why do I keep emphasizing police station every time?
Porque estás tratando de dar que información que la comisaría policial no tiene.
So we're finally here, huh? I was starting to think our investigation was about to end a little early. That would have been a real shame. And alive, you finally saw through my little game. You're absolutely right. There is other information that the police station doesn't have. Reason being? It's my own evidence. And this evidence should help answer a couple of your questions more clearly. Why was the research log from the Office of Forensic Science blank? And where did the white powder come from?
Aha! Paimon knew you were keeping secrets!
Don't you have secrets too?
No. Nope. Definitely not.
Let's talk somewhere
Sí,
else.
Paimon.
This isn't the best place for this discussion.
Sí, pero la que tiene más secretos de todos.
Let's roll.
This is a quiet spot. Let's talk here. All right. Here's the secret I've been keeping all along. The torn out pages from the research log of the Office of Forensic Science.
Great! But Paimon can't believe you kept this a secret all this time!
It's not like you think. I wasn't the one who tore out the pages. Look, just read it over first.
Baja la reacción al mezclar nutrientes ácidos que se extraen de las soltecias con el enguante extraído del hígado de pescado y purificar la mezcla se obtiene una pequeña cantidad de sustancia cremosa y blanca. Si se alimenta con esta sustancia, los jabalíes dentro de una semana presentarán daños úlceros en la piel y membranas mucosas seguidas de dificultades respiratorias y en última instancia fallecerán. Si se sustituye la sustancia por jugo concentrado del hígado de pescado por ungüento de hígado de pescado altamente concentrado y se mezcla purifica como el caso anterior, se obtiene una gran cantidad de sustancia cremosa blanca. Alimentar a los jabalíes con esta dosis, el tiempo hasta que se muere reduce al menos unas horas. El análisis detallado sobre la dosis mortal se encuentra en la hoja adjunta.
Finished? Do you see now? The method used by the perpetrator to commit his crime wasn't by putting the white powder in the cold medicine.
Polvo blanco es el resultado de mezclar de medio perfil de la crema del hígado de pescado.
That's correct. The white powder was Shirayama's invention. As a forensic doctor, he provided a special cold medicine for Takatsukasa Isamu. The autopsy report showed that this medicine contained a high volume of acidic fruit and vegetable extracts. Then, he tricked Ryuuji into sending fish liver paste to Takatsukasa Isamu. When the two substances were taken together, a toxic dose of the substance formed in his body. This is the real modus operandi.
Oh, that's awful! One was medicine, and the other was an expensive nutritional supplement. Both completely harmless.
True, both are harmless on their own, but when combined, poof, that's it.
¿Por qué yo no lo admitían? Sobre todo porque no tenía por qué ocultarlo.
It was not him who wanted to hide it, but the person pulling the strings behind him.
Huh. You mean there was someone else pulling the strings?
Aren't you curious where I found these pages from the research log? It was in Kujo Takayuki's secret warehouse. After I found the missing pages, I did some digging around and found out that Shiroyama had worked for Kujo Takayuki before joining the police station. The Kujo clan secretly provided Shiroyama with funds to study forensic science. I guess you could say that Kujo Takayuki's investment paid dividends in this case. Of course, I had only learned all of this after the Vision Hunt decree came to an end. Kujo Takayuki had lost his grip on power, and the Tenryou Commission was undergoing a general reshuffle. To avoid coming under suspicion, Madame Kujo Sara put me in charge of building a case against Kujo Takayuki. I found a huge stash of fish liver paste in his secret warehouse. Nothing hugely incriminating about that, of course, but I still took the trouble to open each and every package until finally, I had to concede that this really was just a huge stash of fish liver paste. But then, underneath the floor tiles where the fish liver paste was stacked, I found a secret compartment with this torn-off research report lying inside.
So it was him who wanted to frame Ryuuji all along. What a nasty piece of work.
Let's review the whole case from the top. First, Takatsukasa Isamu, for whatever reason, noticed Shiroyama's talent as a forensic doctor and asked him to develop a special poison on his behalf. But Shiroyama was already working for the Kujo clan, so he refused. Takatsukasa Isamu wasn't about to take no for an answer, and that's where things took a dark turn. He twisted Shiroyama's arm by making a veiled threat to harm his family. All Shiroyama could do was to secretly report everything to Kujo Takayuki. When Takayuki learned what was happening, he instructed Shiroyama to pretend to cooperate with Takatsukasa Isamu, then kill the latter with the white powder once it was fully developed. Meanwhile, Ryuuji's only role in this case was to deliver the fish liver paste to Takatsukasa Isamu on Shiroyama's orders, completely unaware of the fact that he was being used as a pawn and that this was a key ingredient needed to create the poison. After the incident, Kujo Takayuki hoped to make Ryuuji the fall guy, until the death sentence was stalled when it reached Madame Kujo Sara. In the meantime, Sango had begun her own investigation. Kujo Takayuki grew nervous that the truth would get out, so he threw Shiroyama to the wolves, hounding him to death and erasing all traces of contact between the two. And yet, he wanted to keep this secret formula, so he hid it. Greedy guy, that Takayuki. He must have wanted to have it on hand just in case he needed to employ it again in the future and make someone else disappear.
This Kujo Takayuki is an evil lunatic. We've got to report this to A. Whatever his current punishment is, it needs to be 10 times worse.
That would be practically impossible. One research log found in his warehouse doesn't prove anything. Even I can think of 100 excuses. Besides, Ryuuji directly contributed to Takatsukasa Isamu's death by delivering the fish liver paste to him. The fact that he was unaware of the true nature of the situation doesn't matter.
But he's still innocent, right? Isn't it just a coincidence? That really doesn't get how the law works.
Legally speaking, the judge would most likely rule that it was accidental. But in practice, Ryuuji may still have to end up shouldering some responsibility.
So So basically, you've been hiding the truth all this time to protect Ryuuji.
Mental trauma doesn't heal as easily as physical wounds. My biggest worry is that Ryuuji would struggle to cope if he knew the truth. He's like an innocent child. He freely gives his trust and his love to everyone that treats him well. That's why he thought of Takatsukasa Isamu as a father figure. I'm pretty sure that to this day, he has never paused to wonder whether Takatsukasa Isamu was actually a good person, or if Sango just hired him as a gopher, or why I left the detective agency. If he found out the facts about Takatsukasa Isamu, I'm afraid it would crush him.
Entonces, ¿por qué se roban, la verdad?
Well, as you can see, I'm a little less confident than people might think. To prevent Ryuuji from getting hurt, I covered up the truth. But by doing so, have I held him back? Did I do the right thing? I couldn't turn to anyone for help, and everyone around me thinks I'm so smart that I should just be able to handle every case on my own. Even if I tried to discuss it with them, they'd just say, "Don't be ridiculous, Mr. Hazo, no problem's too difficult for you." But you're different. Unlike them, you don't have that kind of prejudice towards me. You've traveled far and wide and have had all kinds of experiences. It must have taught you a lot. Most importantly, my intuition tells me that you're someone special, that I can trust you and that you can help me. Right? So, I'd like you to be the one to decide whether we should expose the truth or not. Oh, you don't need to tell me what you decide, and you certainly don't need to decide right now. Let's just say I'm leaving this teensy tiny matter up to you. Alright, let's head back to the detective agency. You can mull it over on the way. Once you've made up your mind, just tell Ryuuji and Sango your verdict.
Hurry up, Grassa!
Hey, Traveler. Hey, Detective Hazo. You're back already, huh? I bet you're tired. Well, I just bought some tonkatsu. Care to join me? There's plenty for everyone.
We'd love to. But wouldn't you like to hear the results of our investigation first?
No matter what you were able to find, it's all in the past and won't ever change. So I think we'd better chow down first. Besides, if Sango's not happy with the results, we might not have anything to eat later.
Come on, Ryuuji, pipe down. Let's hear the Traveler's conclusion first.
Okay then. Over to you, Hazel and Traveler.
Don't worry, just tell us your findings. Everyone trusts you, as do I.
Eso es lo que hemos visto, la verdad es.
Me encantas toda la verdad sobre el caso de Ryuuji.
But how? How could this be?
Huh. So, that's what really happened?
Ryuuji, I know it's hard to accept, but...
Wait a minute. Sorry, I have quite the stomach ache. Sango, can I take the day off?
Sure, of course. Take the week if you need it.
Oh, Paimon hopes Ryuuji will be okay.
I didn't expect things to turn out like this.
Just give him some time to himself. I think he'll eventually come to accept it.
I'm still a little worried though. What if he doesn't come to work tomorrow?
Le acabo de decir que se venga en una semana.
Don't you worry about that, Sango. You need some time to process all of this too.
I'm at a loss for words right now. Please, just leave me be.
Bueno, dejémoslo acá, tan tran, le damos en la mejor parte. Pero bueno, lo hacemos mañana. Gracias a todos por vernos. Mañana terminamos este.